All right, welcome back inside the Madhouse on Madison. Tonight, Blackhawks hockey at high definition, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. We'll take a look at the goaltending matchup tonight. The main man is right back in the blue paint. And those 10 wins are within one of the league lead. And look at that goals against average. That is sixth best in the entire NHL here in the early part of the season. So a great start for big number 50. And speaking of big, Devan Dubnyk stands 6'6". He'll be at the other end tonight. But what a year he and the Oilers have had defensively. They've been rotten. And he's only had one game, Dubnyk, all year where he's given up 2 goals or less. So he has really had a hard time, as has his team defense in front of him. Ryan Pockmara, Ian Walsh will be the referees tonight. Darren Gibbs, Steve Martin are the linesmen. And we're underway with the Hawks and the Oilers. Keith going rink wide to Toews. This is the line that Eddie was telling you about in the beginning of our broadcast tonight. Toews, Hossa, and Sharp. They have, in the last week and a half, they've dominated virtually every shift they've been on the ice. Hossa bounced it loose to Sharp. He got checked by Gagne as he approached the line. Then he got it back. Sharp's pass went off a skate, though. And Gagne got it out. Hall trying to streak ahead. Seabrook's with him. Hall trying to buy time. They were changing. He tried to put it out in front. Here's a chance for Eberle. Good save by Crawford. Gordon Eberle coming out of chains, had a pretty good chance.
Nice play there from Taylor Hall, Pat, where he just bought himself some time. Yeah. I think he was surprised that he didn't have any help. It was him and 4 Blackhawks around him. They got a good quality chance off of that.
It's an offside play against the Oilers.
Really no worse feeling as a forward, Pat, when you are entering the zone and you pull up and you look and there's only the other team's colored jersey right in front of you. But a guy like Taylor Hall with that great skating ability we talked about in the open was able to buy himself some time, move that puck to Jordan Eberle, and a good stop there for Corey Crawford. Lots of talk, Pat, what would happen with the goaltending tonight. And Joe Quenneville goes to Corey Crawford, scheduling, and a lot of things play into that decision, but Crawford getting an opportunity to get right back in it after a good performance icing against the Hawks, after a good performance last night in Dallas for Corey Crawford.
Well, he's certainly, obviously, been on a great roll, Crawford. But in addition to yes, it is a back-to-back set of games here, but the Hawks don't play after tonight till Thursday, so certainly be an off day or two in there for number 50.
I would anticipate to see Nikolai Khabibulin at some point this week, Pat. Got to get him back in there. Got to get him playing. Got to get Crawford some rest, which is really important.
And you have to expect that it would happen next weekend. I mean, it's Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, so that's 3 and 4 days, and Khabibulin likely to get at least one of those opportunities.
I'd say Saturday in Nashville probably when we look at the schedule and kind of play it out.
Here's Kane moving in. Looks to center, knocked away before reaching Peary. Held in by Roosevelt. Now Brandon Peary. He got 1 goal in his last 9 games. Tried to snap that up. Did that hit his own man on the helmet? It sounded like it hit Roosevelt upstairs. Now Ryan Smith to the other end, trying to dance away from Roosevelt, who got enough of him with a hip check. And Leddy the other way as the Oilers were changing. Nick Leddy will ring it around the board. And Smith in behind for Bollig. He tried to slip it in front, but it's off the mark. And Hemsky the other way. Now Hall's got it. He's got 4 goals his last 4 games shooting. That is saved by Crawford.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the player benches. Bid on the CME Group seats through the online CME Group seats auction. For more information, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Sam Gagne again in this draw. Of course, a great friend of Patrick Kane's. They played together in junior hockey, and he suffered a horrific injury. Is that in preseason?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And stick came up, got him up high, resulted in a suspension, but he suffered a broken jaw.
Cassian in Vancouver at 10 games.
Now Kruger put it on the stick of Keith. Here comes Bollig. Brandon Bollig going to snap off a wrist shot. That's blocked out in front. And Hall sends Gagne out of the Edmonton zone. Hemsky gets in, dropped it back. The centering attempt is picked off by Keith. And now Toews starts away. He doesn't have any help. His wingers are changing. He fights his way into the corner. And ran out of room as Ference got to him. Petrie put it up the boards. It did get out. Hossa from the wall, dropped it back to Oduya. Chalmerson's long shot hit his own man Sharp in the leg. Patrick Sharp dropped it up the boards, and Oduya with a pinch to keep it in. Got it to Sharp in the corner, but he missed Toews with a pass, and the Oilers get it out. Now Marian Hossa with 4 goals in his last 6 games, including 2 last night. This puck cleared the other way, and the Oilers, Belov gets back. Able to work his way to center, but could not get it deep. Let's try to clear that one, deflected into the Chicago bench. Belov got a little jostle or two from Sheldon Brookbank. Again, working as a forward tonight. The Hawks 17.
Well, you know exactly what you're going to get from that guy right there, Sheldon Brookbank. Get that extra effort. And also playing forward, Pat. Joe Quenneville and his staff has the luxury of getting a penalty trouble, or you want to make a change on the back end for whatever reason, you can put Brookbank back there. So that's why a lot of times coaches choose just 7 defensemen. A little bit more room for more ice time for your forwards up front to just 11 forwards. Usually you address 12 forwards and 6 defensemen, but tonight, Hawks, as Pat made mention, will go back with 11 and 7 here tonight. Always loved that as a forward when you had a D come up to play a little bit, because you had a feeling you're going to get a little more ice time.
Yeah. Here's an Edmonton steal, but Ionescu shot it wide. And now he gets it back. Jesse Ionescu tried to set him. Here's a quick shot. Oh, it went just wide. Not a good chance for Boyd Gordon. Now Roosevelt took a check but cleared it ahead. Bickle has some room. He'll get it in as the Hawks want to complete a player change. Petrie to Yakupov. He failed to pick it up. Now Saad's on the other side. A dummy play, let it go back to Kane. Patrick Kane to Nick Chalmerson, a long wrist shot. Sticked away by Dubnyk. Yakupov didn't seem to want much to do with Brandon Peary there. He didn't get the puck off the boards. And now Ference turned it over. Kane is checked. Fights his way to the corner. Ference jammed it free. And now the Oilers' Petrie comes out. Crawford plays to Oduya. Now Saad. And the Hawks want to make a change on the forward line, so the 2D play, a little catch, allow that to happen. Hawks keep possession, but a pass didn't connect with Smith. Seabrook to Keith. And Seabrook has had a +4 in his last 2 games. He chases after this, gets help from Bolig with a long wrist shot. It knuckled wide. And Taylor Hall gets help from Hemsky to get it out. This one goes all the way down, though, icing Edmonton.
I'm going to take a look at a play by Johnny Oduya with our BMO Harris Bank telestrator. And all you young defensemen out there, watch the active stick here of Johnny Oduya. Watch how he just keeps his stick here and denies Jeff Petrie an opportunity to get this puck in. Look at that stick. I mean, that's the way that you do it. There's no physical play there at all. Force that player, the puck carrier, to come through your stick. If you have your stick up in the air, he can make any play he wants, but just a real solid play by Oduya.
Almerson hammers a long shot, but Dubnyk with a left pad, and Hemsky sends it the other way. And the Oilers, not liking the matchups, have been doing a lot of changing on the go in the early stages. Quenneville, as a home coach, can dictate the matchups. And Dallas Eakins trying to stay away from certain things for the Oilers. They're going to have a real active and lively bench.
It really keeps you into the game too, Pat. When you are on the road and you're looking for specific matchups, you got to know when your number is being called. And Could easily get too many men on the ice when you're chasing those matchups, especially on the road.
They dig it out of the corner. Here's Nugent Hopkins, had his shot blocked. And a big collision. Sharp won that confrontation with Nugent Hopkins, who wound up on his wallet. And it's a pretty big wallet. Now, boy, and the Edmonton Oilers, I mean, they got 4 wins so far this year, and only 2 of those in regulation time. And, you know, plenty of teams will struggle, but how is it that you're up against the salary cap and your team's no good?
It's been a battle for sure. Goaltending for sure, and that's why they went out and got Ilya Bryzgalov, signed him off the free agent wire.
Here's Keith flipping it wide. Centering attempt from Shaw, bounced loose to Jones. He took a hit but got it out of there.
There's Bickell taking a run at Jones there.
I'd like to see that. Bickell with a couple of hits last night, and he's not been on the score sheet after a 4-game goal-scoring run. He's not at a point in his last 6, Brian Bickell, but the physical presence that he can bring is much needed by this forward group. Oilers get it in. Yakupov trying to go coast to coast, threw it in front, and it didn't connect. Peary bounced it out.
I was talking about Brian Bickell, Pat. I mean, it's feast or famine, right? The first start with 7 games, right? Couldn't really get anything offensively, and all of a sudden you're on a goal-scoring streak.
Arcavello's pass now hit a leg. And the Oilers, Yakupov flipped it forward. Arcavello spins it loose, but pass was picked right out of midair. Beautifully good stick there from Peary. And Kane the other way. Threw it into the corner for Saad. Brandon Saad arrives, hacked it around the boards to Kane. Now Kane. On a center one, it hit a leg and then the side of the net, held in by Roosevelt. Arcavello got it. Not to the out of the zone. Here's Peary, and he hit the goalpost. He beat Dubnyk short side, but hit the goalpost. Now Peary checked, taken away by Beloff, and Ryan Smith chipped it up the boards. The Oilers getting it out. Leddy quickly back in there. Looking for somewhere to go.
Got some tired defensemen out there right now for Edmonton.
Now it's Kane on the other side. Drops to Seabrook, a one-timer. Dubnyk made the save and a good stop with no rebound. Hawks had 2 red sweaters near the goaltender, but he didn't give him any loose change. No, Patrick Sharp doing a lot of scoring and some hitting as well. We are scoreless halfway through the first.
The men and women of our armed forces, there's an easy way to support our Illinois veterans. Just play Veterans Cash, the instant game from the Illinois Lottery, and you'll help them get the housing, job training, and health care they need. All proceeds will directly benefit our veterans. Play responsibly. Must be 18 or older to play.
Hawks win a draw. Seabrook in behind. Taves hit hard there, and Keith, a great keep with a bouncing puck. Got it to Sharp, now for Hossa. Back to Sharp. He'll look down low. Taves will leave it go, but it never arrived to Hossa. He nearly then stole it, bounced it for Taves, but it hopped away from him to Dubnyk, who will hang on to it.
You're not kidding, Pat. What a play by Duncan Keith at that blue line to keep that play alive. Bouncing puck, no worse feeling as a defenseman standing at the blue line. You're just trying to keep it in. He was able to do that with his left skate, and then Patrick Sharp probably would look back on that, Pat, and had a chance to shoot the puck, but he tried to make the pass to Marian Hossa. When you're going well, and that line certainly is, you're going to get those pucks. You're going to have defensemen keep plays alive for you. That's the way that it rolls, is when you're on that roll, you're going to get the bounces, you're going to get the keep-ins, you're going to get pucks finding in the offensive zone.
Kane for Oduya. He threw it over to the other side. Nugent Hopkins cleared it out to center ice. Now cleared up the boards, held in. Centering pass jumped away from Kane. Patrick Kane looking for Oduya, but instead it goes to Chalmerson. A long wrist shot, hit, escape. Kane to Dubnyk. He's able to locate and cover. Andrew Shaw, where you normally can find him, right around the blue paint. And Shaw with 5 points in his last 5 games, including 2 goals. Some power play work, always part of his repertoire, but the physical play for a guy who's not very big, Eddie, I mean, I know you appreciate what he can bring. He's got 12 hits in his last 3 games. He leads the Blackhawks with 49 hits. I mean, he's half the size of some of these guys, and he'll throw his body around every which way.
Yeah, nose over the puck mentality. If Andrew Shaw's on the ice, there's a pretty good chance, Pat, he's over the puck. I mean, that's just the way that he is. He gravitates to it, knows his role, and can play a lot of different spots and role for Joe Quenneville.
Well, Patrick Kane has been red hot, but he always likes to see the Edmonton Oilers. Look at those numbers in 23 games, 30 points. So the prolific score is usually done pretty well whenever he sees this Alberta team. Larson bounced it in for the Oilers. Roosevelt finds Peary. Now Kane. Tied up at center ice. It came loose to Peary, looking towards Saad, trying to fight through a check of Gordon. Just kind of a tweener pass. He tried to get it to Kane. It was right between his skate and stick. Hawks changing as they keep possession here with the forward unit changing him up. Bickle chasing in deep. And that's going to be ruled icing. Chicago.
Don't understand why.
I don't either. You can see Joel Quenneville unhappy with the decision from linesman Steve Barton to put his arm up.
Yeah, it's one of these where here's the foot race. You have the Edmonton Oilers going back here. You have the linesman here. Clearly, it looks like Brian Bickle's going to get this puck. Clearly, he's going to get this puck. And the linesman decides that he's going to blow it down. Again, still a work in progress with the hybrid icing. Started in the United States Hockey League. I think it's great. Still think there's some quirks to be left out, but that's one of those, Pat, where clearly Brian Bickle would have won the race there. And the faceoff should have gone to center ice, but they did not get together. Linesman was steadfast saying, hey, this is what I think, and this is where we're going to go with it. It's that imaginary line to the dot. That's where the decision is made, the faceoff dot from board to board for the linesman. I think the linesmen, they've done a really good job with it, Pat, but I just think they have too much on their plate. First, they got to worry about offside. Does the puck cross the goal line? And then who's going to win, who's going to win that imaginary race to the dot? And you got to also worry about the goaltender.
Does he come out? Here's Seabrook a blast, and a pick save by Dubnyk. Rebound to the Oilers. Hall. Taylor Hall moved it to Gagne. Trying to battle his way into the zone. Good cut across by Seabrook. Now Petrie. Cleared it back into Chicago territory. And Chalmerson cleared it to center ice. Now Duncan Keith at a +5 in his last 6 games. There's this into the Edmonton end. Marcabello bothered by Taves. Farron's there to help out. Now Petrie. Put it back into Chicago territory, icing Oilers.
Well, Sunday, a week from tonight, November 17th, the Hawks will take on the San Jose Sharks. Be one of the first 10,000 fans, 21 and over, to enter the United Center. Receive a Blackhawks hat presented by Bud Light. Our buddy Brett Feather. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for ticket information. Speaking of Brett Feather, speaking of Bud Light, the great Pat Foley and I will be at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Woodridge tomorrow night. Ticket giveaway, a Zamboni giveaway as well. You don't get a Zamboni, you get a ride on the Zamboni. Are you a part of that?
I was going to say, are you towing that thing over?
I'll be driving. I don't know if I'll be towing it. But come out to the Buffalo Wild Wings in Woodridge tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Hossa with a wrist shot, and it was partially blocked. Dubnyk then stopped it. Here's Taves. Able to shield, nicely put in front. Hossa, his shot was blocked again. Now Sharp's got it. And Leddy tried to keep it in, but Petrie cleared the Oilers zone.
Good keep there for Leddy.
All right, here's Taves back in. Sharp to the net. Taves walks in, wants Sharp. The pass broken up, and then he couldn't get rid of a backhand chance. Chalmerson put it around. Taves able to clear it to center. Hossa bangs it back the other way. Going to be icing Chicago here. Well, the nice defensive play by Schultz, who sprawled to block the pass. I mean, Sharp was breaking up the middle, and Taves was looking for him, but Nick Schultz made a good defensive play to break up the pass. And now it's taken by Oduya. He dropped it to Chalmerson. And Bollig has a little skating room, gaining the line. Tapped it around the boards, and Hemsky cleared it to center ice. Ionescu's pass went off the skate of Seabrook. It's out of play. And we're just under 6 minutes remaining in a scoreless first period in the United Center.
Well, welcome back, our BMO Harris Bank Telestrator. There's Nick Leddy. He makes a great play, but look at the support. Look at what's going to end up happening here. The keep in, the support, and now it's a 2-on-1. Subtle little pick there from Marian Hossa. Great chance, but the strong play by Nick Leddy along the boards in the middle of the ice created that chance for the Hawks.
And you can hear the crowd applauding while Eddie was showing you that play. Every one of the early TV timeouts here in the UC, there's been a video presentation regarding the Hawks' interaction with their veterans. There was a lot in this last timeout about their visit to the Walter Reed Medical Center, where the Hawks were last week, to greet and visit with a lot of the wounded Warriors. And the guys who were on the ice before the game with Jimmy Cornelison while he was singing the anthem. Great that the Hawks do that with the USO, and every home game there are servicemen and women who can get down on the ice surface and enjoy that entire experience. But a very emotional and standing ovation type of tribute to say thank you, veterans, from everybody here in the UC.
On both sides. Players, coaches on both sides, and the officials acknowledging as well, and of course the great fans here at the United Center every night, respectfully thanking the men and women of our armed forces. Boy, Ben Smith made a real good play there, Pat, along the near boards there. He blocked it play. Looked like Edmonton might have something going. Quick little play down low, but Ben Smith got his body up against the boards and sealed it off, chipped the puck into the neutral zone. So again, the little things of stopping a potential offensive rush for the Oilers.
Keith for Kane. He gets in, but three Oilers encircling him, and Smith got it out of there. This is going to go far enough for icing.
Yeah, I got a quick birthday shout out to a young Blackhawks fan. He'll be 2 years old tomorrow. Lucas Bort. His mom Beth and Scott over in Griffith, Indiana. Huge Blackhawk fan. So, hey Lucas, if you're listening, have a great birthday tomorrow. You gotta be one, you gotta be two. 2 fingers, partner, 2.
He already doubled it up. That's beautiful.
I love when you ask young Blackhawk fans how old they are. Sometimes the younger ones, they use their other hand to put their fingers up and go, I'm 2. Not 3, because I can't keep my thumb down. I'm 2.
You know, the other thing, when you get to be our age, you ask somebody how old they are, you never get the half. You know, it's 6.5 you hear. Or 5, hey, I'm 5.5.
I like to round out the numbers now. Let's go down.
Yeah, which decade? All right, here comes Kane moving in. Oh, and he just lost it in the last moment. And the Oilers able to get it out. Patrick Kane for Brian Bickle. Moves in with a shot. That's blocked and winds up out of play. The Edmonton Oilers had the first 4 shots on goal tonight. Since then, the Hawks have had 9 unanswered.
Well, Hawk fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone, brought to you by Wingstop, for every Blackhawks game at WGNTV.com. At last, sweet meets heat at Wingstop. Say that 3 times fast, partner. Sweet meets heat at Wingstop. I can't even say it twice. With the new mango habanero wings. Sweet and so spicy. Wingstop, the wing experts.
All right, the Oilers now able to clear it ahead. Hall put it out of the reach of Gagne. And Sharp going rink wide for Hossa. Taves carried on. Jonathan Taves got surrounded in the corner. Hossa in there to help. Now it's jammed loose, and Gagne had his pass picked off. Taves going to pry it off the boards. Well, the Oilers finally able to gain control. Gagne for Hall on left wing, cutting in. He shoots. Had a good blocker save by Crawford. And we mentioned a moment ago, Corey Crawford hasn't seen a puck for about 15 minutes. So that's a good stop. And one of the keys to being a good goalie with a puck possession team. A lot of guys will even tell you, you get some of these games where a goalie is facing 45 shots. Sounds like a tough night. It might be tougher when you only get 18 shots, and a high percentage of those being good chances.
The focus and concentration really has to be even more so when the puck is not in your zone, and there's no threat even, Pat, to getting a shot on goal.
Smith won the corner battle in behind Kruger. In front, here's a shot by Oduya, and a save by Dubnyk, who jugged it, went up high. But he's able to get the glove on it before it came back to earth.
Boy, a real good job there again by Ben Smith, Pat. He wins a physical battle in the corner. Watch this. He wins a physical battle here. He gets great support down low. Watch this nice little play here by Marcus Kruger. Little spinorama. Gets it back to Johnny Oduya. And then Dubnyk, what's that, 6'6" frame? Is that what you said, partner?
Yeah.
Was able to outreach there, Ben Smith.
All he could do was wait, Benny.
Boy, that's awfully high up there, isn't it?
All right, here's Roosevelt looking for a lane. Nothing available. He cleared it over to the other side. Kane for Saad in behind. Brandon Saad, 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 9 games. This puck hacked away from him to Devan Dubnyk. The Edmonton Oilers, we talked about their struggles keeping the puck out of the net. They come in here as a team allowing 3.78 goals per game. That's worst in the league. But part of that goes to the net minding. Their team save percentage is .874. There's only 4 teams in the entire league that have a save percentage below 90. So, yeah, they've given up too many chances. And, yeah, they're not that good in their own zone. And, yeah, they don't have a lot of top-flight type defensemen. But when you combine that with goalies that haven't been very sharp, that's disastrous.
That's not a good combination.
Seabrook hacked it around the boards. Peary's pass went off a stick up high. Now it's on the score! It came back to the ice where Brandon Saad was able to hammer it home. Great hand-eye from Saad. And he gives the Hawks the lead late in the first.
A couple of great chances last night for Brandon Saad, not able to get on the score sheet. But you talk about extra effort in our Honda replay. Look at this play here by Brandon Saad. He keeps the play alive for Brent Seabrook, but his job is not done yet. Look where he goes. He goes right to the front of the net. If he stays to the outside, Pat, or he lays on his stomach, he never gets this puck, ever. Extra effort. Brandon Peary is trying to get that puck to Patrick Kane. But when you do the right things and you have good habits, you're going to get rewarded like that. And Brandon Saad, with an outstanding effort, gives the Hawks a 1-0 lead.
Others are offside on that turnover rush attempt.
He had 2 A+ chances last
Yes.
night. I mean, he let the puck go a couple of times. Remember the one where you're skating right, shot back left.
And you mentioned right at the time, I mean, a good quick release, but it had some heat on it.
So just a great effort by Brandon Saad. Pat, to me, if Team USA is not thinking about Brandon Saad to represent the U.S. at the Olympics in Sochi in February, would be a big disappointment. I think that he has earned himself certainly a huge opportunity to play for Team USA.
Yeah, you would think. All right, here's Eberle looking to center, just out of the reach of Schultz. Now Nugent Hopkins put it to the other side, then a centering pass, jumped away from Eberle. Jordan Eberle came out of the corner, and a shot attempt from the Oilers never got through. Now another shot. Oh, a bad angle save made by Crawford. That one surprised him. He's able to hold his ground and keep the Hawks in front. Half a minute left in period 1. Here comes Leddy. Kick to the stick by Roosevelt, but the timing was off, and offside whistle is blown.
Had a belated happy birthday to Lindsay Overby, a senior at Bradley University down in Peoria. She's a huge Hawks fan. She thinks you're the greatest, by the way. Been to a Blackhawk convention, so a happy belated 22nd birthday to Lindsay Overby down at Bradley University.
Clearly a very intelligent young lady. All right, here's a turnover in behind. Brookbank tried to get it in front, but it didn't connect. And Hall around the boards. It's taken by Smith, who tapped it back the other way. Roosevelt absorbs contact, lost it. Here's Petrie with a chance to let it go. Oh, and a blast went high and wide. That could have been a disaster for Roosevelt and the Hawks, but Petrie missed the net, allowing the Hawks to get out unscathed. 11 Chicago shots in the first period, 6 for the Oilers. And Brandon Saad scored his 4th of the year for the only goal of the opening 20. Thanks very much, fellas. The Blackhawks will take a 1-goal lead into period 2.
Nice to see Danny back.
Yeah, where's he been?
I think probably maybe been a little west, maybe. It looks like he's beat the ball up a little bit in the last little while. What do you think, partner?
There's a pretty good chance of that. And the ball, when he hits it, it doesn't get beat up. It usually goes right where he's aiming. He's a stick.
Well, Chicagoland viewers, the start of the second period is brought to you by Subway. Subway restaurants. And to start it off right, you have a chance to win $5 $5 footlong. Just be the 500 texter to text footlong to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete rules and info. No purchase necessary. Barton, I seen a lot of soft serve ice cream here tonight. They're teasing me down there. DT Bulldog, you're teasing me. Tommy Skokna, no stats for you. You're making a run, partner.
If Eddie's voice is a little muffled in the second
there it
period.
is. Oh, that's it. I'll be back.
I guess I'm doing the telestrating here in the second. Well, the Oilers tonight at the end of a 3-game road trip, a 4-game road trip, they won in Florida to begin things, then the loss in Tampa 4-2, then lost yesterday in Philly 4-2. That win in Florida, the only time they've won a game in the last 3 weeks. And the biggest thing for them has been what we've referenced a couple times, the inability to keep the puck out of their net. And I would guess that maybe they're happy with a 1-goal period. It's against this high-flying offense.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad period for him.
Here's Keith. He whiffed on a shot attempt. It comes all the way through to Taves. Donovan Taves is checked by Ferentz. Now picked up by Hall. Moved it to center. The return pass. Chased in deep by Hall. Hemsky in behind. There's Hall taking a look. That pass went between teammates, and Ferentz will have to chase back. Andrew Ferentz, they thought was going to be a guy to calm things down defensively for the Oilers after playing in Boston the last few years. Hasn't worked out that way as Nugent Hopkins scores. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, what a shot. He snapped a close-in shot right to the very top corner of the net. And a first-minute goal for Edmonton has tied it.
Well, play in the middle of the ice, Pat. And David Perron's the guy that makes the pass to Nugent Hopkins and beats Corey Crawford to the short side. With the play in the middle of the ice, look, two Blackhawks go to David Perron, the former St. Louis Blue, and there you see it. Short side high on Corey Crawford. And it's a 1-1 game.
It's the 5th goal of the year for Nugent Hopkins, and what a shot that was. So the Oilers able to draw even early and icing Chicago right off the drop of the puck.
I made mention, Pat, it was a good period for the Oilers in that first. And when you are struggling, you're trying to find your game. You're looking to win shifts. You're looking to win 5-minute segments in a period. And even though they gave up the goal to Brandon Saad, you look for something to build on. And he came right out here and took advantage of a turnover in the middle of the ice. And what a play by David Perron. And then a perfect shot there. No chance for Corey Crawford.
Here's Oduya going in deep, trying to send him on a whack by Kane, but he had it bounce to the corner, and then the Oilers able to start back. Gagne dropped it to Hall. His rink wide is just off the stick of Beloff. Comes around to Kane. Oduya will throw it deep.
He's had a great game so far, Pat. Johnny Oduya, I think he's had a real strong game.
Wide open in front. Here's Kane. What a save by Dubnyk. Rebound is loose. Shaw couldn't finish it. Neither could Saad. And how did the Oilers get out of that mess? The goal was open momentarily. Hawks couldn't put it in. Here's Andrew Shaw for Keith. Back to Shaw. His shot is blocked. A couple of Oilers got to him. Now a chance in front for Kane. What a save. Might have been goal post as well. After Dubnyk seemed to get a piece. And the Oilers in need of a whistle. That's going to be a penalty. They shot it from their own zone out of play. Hall arguing, but he's going to have a seat. Now this will be the game's first penalty.
Boy, a couple of outstanding chances for the Hawks. The last one by Patrick Kane. All this time looking to pass, goes forehand, backhand, as you mentioned, Pat, right off the crossbar, right off the post. And then the chance before that, Andrew Shaw getting the puck to Patrick Kane. I thought almost too nice for Andrew Shaw. Got to shoot that puck there. There was a mad scramble for a good 4 or 5 seconds.
Now the Oilers able to get in. Here's a backhand shot stopped by Crawford. And Taves the other way. This is the first power play of the game. Here's Kane for Taves. Hawks power play with 8 goals in the last 10 games. Kane dropped it to Sharp. Pressured by Smith. Kane helped out. Put it to Taves. He looks back door. Tapped away from Kane. And the Oilers able to clear.
Too nice right now, Pat. That would be the message, I'm sure, coming for Coach Q and the assistant coaches right now. There's opportunities to shoot the puck and just trying to make that fine play all the time.
Patrick Kane, they get Shaw to the front of the net. Taves down low. Out for Sharp. He had a shot blocked. And Arcobello rolled it to center ice. Now Eberle gets in. His shot blockered away by Crawford. And the rebound to the captain. Taves on the counterattack. Keith into the zone, pulls up. Taves back to Keith. Across to Leddy, then Keith. Kosa's one-timer into the glove of Dubnyk. Well, that mad scramble, as Eddie was telling you a couple of moments ago, Andrew Shaw and a couple of teammates couldn't believe they didn't finish that one. But 40 seconds remaining on this man advantage. Oilers PK has been good. Just 1 out of the last 18 have been converted against the Oilers penalty kill. Letty under pressure, able to roll it to side. He gets the line, shielding nicely, but a pass then deflects. And the Hawks are able to keep this in. Ferentz this time finds the opening. Letty starts out. The Oiler penalty expires. Both teams full strength. Eberle with a nice steal. Cleared it ahead. A chance for Gagne coming in. A penalty at least. Maybe a penalty shot. And no, the Hawks, yes, it is a penalty shot. They are going to award a penalty shot. The call made by referee Pac Mara, and Sam Gagne will go one-on-one with Corey Crawford.
Well, what a pass by Jordan Eberle. The Hawks turn the puck over at the blue line, Pat. The hand and then the stick of Brent Seabrook. Well, it actually looked like to me that Gagne had lost his balance, Pat. And Seabrook did everything to do not to make any contact with the body, but here we go.
All right, now Gagne on Crawford, who comes well out to meet him. Gagne weaving, now stick handling, shooting. Crawford stuffed him. Corey Crawford said no.
I think too many stick handles here for Sam Gagne. Watch this puck, it'll roll right off his stick. Right over the top, right there. It goes right over. Watch the left part of your screen here. I think the puck pops over his stick, Pat. Little stick handle and then goes right under. It actually goes under, not over. Just too many stick handles for Sam Gagne, who's got a lot of moves, but you try to make a move that tight there. That many stick handles, there's a pretty good chance that puck goes into the corner, so a huge break there for the Hawks.
Now Kruger. And it taken away, Nugent Hopkins. But Eberle cleared it to center, David Perron. Stripped away, good stick, Hjalmarsson. The Oilers' Belov put it on the stick of Larson. He got jammed up at the blue line as Hjalmarsson made a nice stand-up play. That's offside.
Pat talked about the Hawks being too nice here. Here's Andrew Shaw from our BMO Harris Bank Telestrator a little earlier. Watch where this puck comes out. Let's stop it right here. Here's Andrew Shaw. Now you understand what he's thinking about. He's thinking about moving this puck over, but the goaltender is in this position. He knows. The goaltender knows exactly what's taking place here. He's got the shooter. He's got Patrick Kane over to his left. And really, Shaw just passes right back into the traffic there. And we've seen that now 2 or 3 times, Pat, in the second period. Too much passing right now for the Hawks. I think more straight ahead, more pucks have been net. Maybe create a second or third chance opportunity.
Roosevelt kept it. Smith, though, jammed it free. Letty has to get back. Here comes Bickle. Ryan Bickle weaving to the middle. Could not get rid of an opportunity. And now the Oilers' Schultz rolled it to the veteran Ryan Smith. Smith, 37 years of age. Over the 1,200 game mark in a distinguished NHL career. All right, here comes Jones trying to dance on Seabrook, but the puck didn't come with him. Nice play by Keith in traffic, able to find a wide open Seabrook. Returning it to Keith. And the Hawks will get this one in. Petrie now going to be taken away by Hossa. Or Toews, who's grabbed by Petrie. And Hossa working the corner. Around for Keith. Bounced it towards the middle, but Petrie in the way. And out they come, Ionescu. Cleared it into the Hawk zone. Here's Petrie. Went down as he tried to shoot. As Duncan Keith sprawled to the deck. Back comes Peary. Pass missing Sharp. And now the Oilers' Hemsky Bounce it to center. Patrick Kane put it on the stick of Nick Leddy. Up the middle it goes. Here's Saad, but the back pressure knocked it free right to Devin Dubnyk, who will cover it up. 7 minutes have been played here in period 2. The Hawks and the Oilers are tied. Welcome back to the UC, where we look at our Liberty Mutual Insurance best moments. And on this date, back in 1990, Eddie Olczyk, who had been traded from Chicago to Toronto on this date, was then traded from Toronto to Winnipeg. And then there's a reason that there's that graphic in the middle. That was a very busy day in the Olczyk family.
Yes, it was. We were actually in the hospital in Toronto, Ontario, and got a tap on the shoulder from one of the nurses saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs were on the phone. They wanted to talk to me, and of course my lovely bride Diana Olczyk was in labor, and I told the nurse that I would call the Maple Leafs when we were done, and sure enough they called me out and told me I was traded while we were in the delivery room. So Thomas Olczyk came into this world 23 years ago today, and it took a little longer, but yeah, was called right out of the delivery room.
Now the Oilers try to get some heat on, and it bounced back to the line. Beloff's long shot tip and a save by Crawford after a redirect, and Keith able to get it out.
Saad's going to get a penalty here, Pat. Stick up around the face of Philip Larson. Well, if Larson's cut or not, it's either going to be 2 or 4. Right in front of the penalty box.
But now wait a minute, I just want to clarify one thing. This was the day that Tommy Olczyk was born in 1990, the current captain of the Penn State hockey team. That doesn't look anything like him.
Well, that was an interesting day for sure.
Well, once again, we say, God bless that wonderful Diana Olczyk. She has been through a lot in her lifetime with the Olczyk family, and able to maintain a great disposition throughout. Even though at times I'm sure it's been a little trying, like that night. All right, the Oilers on the power play. Eberle dropped it back. Larson now takes a look. Philip Larson to Jordan Eberle. They change positions. Now Larson with a long one-timer. It's blocked out in front. Hjalmarsson, and he got rid of it. The Oiler power play has scored a goal in 3 straight games. 3 out of their last 9. And this one jumped away from Larson to center. Call for Yakupov. Nail Yakupov. Stick handles off the boards across to Eberle. Larson, a long wrister. Good right pad from Crawford. Larson gets it back. There's Yakupov for one-timer. He scores! A blast from Nail Yakupov. He didn't have a point in his last 5 games, but he got all of that one-timer, and the Oilers have the lead.
Pat, if I'm not mistaken, he scored a goal from that same exact spot last year on the power play. Same exact type of play, sitting off to that side, that soft little area, and he just throws it right by Corey Crawford. Short side, low, but a perfect pass there from Philip Larson, and a reaction from Yakupov, who's been in and out of the doghouse of head coach Dallas Eakins. This guy's got a lot of ability, a lot of skill level. He's just learning the game and learning to play with the other 4 guys on the ice, and he can shoot the puck, as we've seen over the course of the last couple of years.
Hossa gets to the middle, could not get rid of it though. Oduya tried a long one, that's deflected up into the air, coming down to Hall.
Evan on the power play, his second of the season.
Now Johnny Oduya to Nick Hjalmarsson. Taves stripped away by Hall. It's kicked back to Hall by Hemsky. Then the long shot went upstairs, and it's Sharp the other way. Patrick Sharp will put it around the boards. Petrie checked by Kane. So it winds up at center. Nugent Hopkins kicks to the stick. He drives in, has a man with him. Eberle, a nice move around to check, put it in front. Off the stick of Seabrook at the doorstep. Rebound is loose. Crawford reaching. Does he have it? Now he does. A lot of hacking and whacking, and Corey Crawford taking exception to a couple of errant sticks that were trying to keep the puck free.
What a battle in the crease. Odd man situation, 3-on-2, and then Eberle trying to throw this puck over to Nugent. Hopkins throws it back to the front. Crawford actually lost his stick here, Pat. Watch what ends up happening. Puck's going to work itself back behind the net to the front. Right there. He loses it, and that puck's somewhere. You see the slash there by Duncan Keith, keeping the Edmonton Oilers from getting to the front of the net. The presence of mind of Crawford to be able to grab that with the free hand.
That pass miss going to be icing Chicago, and Eddie, in this second period, we've played half of it. The Hawks have had 2 shots on goal. Oilers have had 6, and 2 have gone in, and they had a penalty shot. So Joel Quenneville's team in need of a momentum shift. Now the draw, a quick shot, and a save by Crawford. It's loose. It got to the line, not in. A goal saved by Roosevelt. Michael Roosevelt just kept his team within 1. That it looked like was going to go in. This is offside Chicago. And a big play from big number 32 after the puck escaped Crawford and got in behind. He got a little help from his friends.
Well, fans, don't forget to check out the Blackhawks blog at WGNTV.com. The blog is brought to you by Bob Ladoni, the nationwide insurance agent serving the area for 26 years. To join the nation, contact Bob at joinbob.com. And remember, Nationwide is on your side.
Now with Peary and Saad on the ice, Patrick Kane joining him for this shift. We talked about a need for a momentum switch, and Brookbank, who at times has been on this line. Kane's out there for this shift as the plays deep in the Hawk zone. Jones rings it around. Chased down by Boyd Gordon. Into the corner it goes. Jones has to check along the boards, and now Gordon tried to hold it in, but his stick came up and dropped Brandon Peary. That's going to be a high sticking infraction, and if Peary's been cut, the Hawks could get an extended power play.
Well, the battle along the boards, Brandon Peary coming into the pile there, and Gordon's stick, Jones's stick right in the middle of it. So opportunity, Pat, talking about momentum. Here's a chance.
2 minutes for high stick.
That's going to be on Ryan Jones.
So the Hawks have had the worst of it so far here in the second period. A chance to turn the tide. Kane down for Taves, trying to drive the net. Kane picked it up. Now Kane dropped it out to Sharp. Put it on the stick of Keith. Looking for a lane. That didn't get through. Sharp. Hot pass. Jumped away from Taves. Now taken by Ferentz. Good play up the middle, but Gordon missed it. Sharp did not. Kane's got it now. Taves. Keith was backdoor. He pulls out now. Kane walks in. Shooting hit the side of the net. Patrick Kane has goals in 3 straight games. Now drops this one back to Sharp to Kane. Moves into Taves. Sharp to Keith. Shooting. And he fired it wide. Might have been deflected. Taken by Taves. Kane now. With Shaw battle in front of the net. Long shot by Sharp is blocked by the Oilers. Now Keith to Sharp. Shooting. He fired it up off the glass. And it bounced all the way out. 45 for the Hawks power play. Patrick Sharp across. Here's Leddy in for Toews. The shot. Good save. Dubnyk. He lost it. Kane couldn't pry it underneath him. And the puck cleared the other way.
We had two tired defensemen on the ice. Hawks weren't able to capitalize. Well, what an opportunity there for Toews.
Saad streaking in. Put it to the speeding Leddy with a shot. Good save with the left pad by Dubnyk. Rebound to the corner. Hawks win that puck. Here's Peary. Back to Seabrook. To Leddy. Finding Hossa, but the puck was jumping on him. And the Oiler penalty now over. Might have a 2-on-1. Here's Eberle. He streaks into the zone. Lets it now. Fakes. Tried to pass. But that one broken up. Here's a shot by Jones just out of the box. Crawford gloved it. Wanted to play it. But held it long enough for a whistle.
Boy, Jordan Eberle had a chance to shoot the puck. Tried to be a little too nice there, throwing the puck over to Arcobello, and there's that chance for Jonathan Toews we were talking about, Pat. Rebounds there, Patrick Kane just not able to get there. On a couple of real good looks, you see the reaction from Dubnyk. He thought he had the puck, and it was right to his left. A good power play there, Pat. Less pretty, more old-fashioned meat and potatoes. Puck's getting to the net, people to the front. Got to continue to shoot that puck, and that's how the period started, partner. They're just trying to be too nice. Trying to make that extra pass, that pretty little play, and when the Hawks are going, it's usually straight ahead, and then the pretty plays will happen.
Oduya will send it around the boards. Ben Smith in behind for Kruger. Gagne stepped into him. Ford dueling along the boards. And the Oilers win the battle. Gagne able to backhand it out of the Oiler end. And they rule icing
The Blackhawks
there.
wore camouflage jerseys during warm-ups tonight. Each player along with the Blackhawks.
Well, the Blackhawks wore camouflage jerseys during warm-ups tonight, and each player, along with the Blackhawks ambassadors, will autograph those camouflage jerseys. And each jersey will be auctioned off at ChicagoBlackhawks.com through Monday, November 18th, supported by Boeing, and all proceeds will benefit the USO of Illinois.
Well, Dallas Eakins has utilized his one timeout after the Oilers have an icing infraction, so the tired group out there in a one-goal lead. The Oiler coach wants to allow them to get their legs back underneath them. Take a look at our forward upcoming schedule. After this game, the Nighthawks, as we mentioned earlier, do not play again until Thursday, but then 3 games in 4 nights will be up against the Predators. And that's, I don't think that's for this week.
Yeah, they got the Coyotes on Thursday.
The Coyotes are here. Then we're in Nashville on Saturday, and then the Sharks are here on Sunday. That was the convoluted forward upcoming schedule.
I think that one had a flat tire, partner.
It did.
So confused.
I'll call you, remind you, go back to work. Now a bouncing puck captured by the Oilers. Hemsky moves in. Here's Hall with a shot. Good blocker from Crawford. Rebound. Hemsky tried to center it, deflects to Hossa, and the Hawks start back. Sharp goes wide, pulls up, put it to Toews, to Roosevelt, whose backhander was blocked and deflected out of play. 5.5 remaining in period 2. It has been a very good period up till now for the visitors. They've taken the lead. Goals from Nugent Hopkins and Yakupov on a power play have staked the visiting Edmonton Oilers to a 2-1 lead. Now we should point out that, yes, the Oilers only have 4 wins, but 3 of those have come on the road so far this year. And a good middle frame here is given a team that should be fragile in terms of their confidence. A lot of exuberance as a backhander from Shaw is handled by Dubnyk.
Well, Pat, we talk about in the open. I mean, this team has confidence against the Blackhawks. I mean, over the course of the last couple of years, I mean, they've scored goals at will. I mean, they've been in a lot of the games. There just seems to be a confidence. And look, I can just speak from experience, whether it was playing, whether you're playing well or not, there were just some teams you were going to have success against. It didn't matter how the team was going, it didn't matter how you were going, you were going to go and play, and things were going to work out for you. And the Edmonton Oilers have a confidence against the Blackhawks over the course of the last 3 years for sure. Doesn't mean they're always going to win the games. And sometimes that has an effect on you.
Perron around to check, shooting, good save, Crawford. That's a great chance for the Oilers, and they've had a couple since taking a lead, and Crawford has kept his team in it. Now a long pass picked off Keith. Great stay-at-home play. He found Kane, who rings it around. It's back and away from Seabrook and out.
Yeah, tough play there for Brent Seabrook. Puck was on edge. Good try there from Andrew Shaw, but the puck just would not settle down.
Hossa, as he and Kane sort of switch things up on this shift now. Hawks completing a change. Hossa's got it. Back to Taves up left. What a save by Dubnyk. Jonathan Taves got all of it with a one-timer. A perfect mattress pass from Hossa. And Dubnyk beat him.
Well, you talk about a one-timer. You need a great pass, as you mentioned, Pat. Marian Hossa with a beautiful backhand pass. Taves just off the bench, walks right in. Dubnyk's able to see it, and that's one of the big keys, but what a perfect pass there from Hossa.
A mattress pass from Hossa, and Taves laid on it. Here's Jones at the other end. Good stick from Leddy. Now the captain starts the Hawks back. Patrick Sharp, who in his career has had 13 goals in 27 games against the Oilers. Here's a steal by Hossa. He grazed the outside of the goalpost with that wrister. Hossa steals again. Taves for Hossa. Now to Sharp. Here's Roosevelt. Hossa well covered. Roosevelt's long shot. That was a knuckler that sort of floated out. Petrie and Sharp go back and forth after the whistle. They exchanged a couple of whacks. Jeff Petrie, the son of the former standout pitcher of the Detroit Tigers, Danny Petrie. This is Jeff, and he's had a real great year last year for the Oilers. Sharp initiated, and Petrie answered.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to let those guys stay on the ice, Pat, with a little surprised about that nobody's heading to the penalty box. The battle in front. You know what Patrick Sharp's trying to do there? He's trying to push off. It's almost like in basketball where a guy's standing under the basket, kind of subtle little push to give yourself an opportunity. And that's what Sharpie's looking to do there, is just push off a little bit, cause some separation, looking for a rebound. But that was a healthy battle there.
Face-off win, Peary. Keith's long shot never got to the net. And again, Patrick Kane has joined Peary inside for this shift. Now a touch pass for Hall. Seabrook cuts across on him. Hall made a pass out in front. Here's Gagne centering, and it deflected just wide. Duncan Keith might have just saved a goal. And now the Hawks look to start back. Keith gains the line. Ran out of time. Gagne turned it over. Saad, the shot. Big save by Dubnyk. And another stop by Dubnyk. That time on Kane. Now a loose puck for Hall. Hjalmarsson trying to catch him. Taylor Hall ran out of time as Hjalmarsson recovered beautifully, but he couldn't get it out. Now with another chance. And he put it across to Keith. Kane was checked. Saad got it in, driving the goal. Good stick at the last moment by... Now here's Shaw, he scores! What a pass from Saad, who stayed right with it. He was going to have a chance, lost it. He chased down the puck, got it to Andrew Shaw. We're tied.
What an effort, Pat. Here's Brandon Saad. Here's the eventual goal scorer, but keep an eye on this player right here. I believe that's Philip Larson. He loses his stick right there. Now everything's a cluster. He has no stick, and he's not able to stop that puck from going from Saad to Andrew Shaw. And our Honda replay shows us One happy Hawk right there, Andrew Shaw. That is a huge goal late in the second period. Well, the effort by Brandon Saad. There's the stick. Larson loses his stick, so he's standing there in no man's land, and that puck goes right to the area where you would think his stick would be on the ice. Now, there's no guarantee it would be on the ice, and give Brandon Saad a lot of credit, Pat, to understand where the support was coming from and where the defense was trying to stop him. A goal and assist right now for Saad.
Loose puck for Shaw. It's bouncing. He put it to Bickle. And a save by Dubnyk. It got past him, but he's able to keep it from crossing the line as it approached the other post. Oh, this line turning the tide in Chicago's favor here on this shift.
Oh, what a great pass there, and what a stop by Devan Dubnyk. Hawks have the momentum here, Pat. They want to keep the pressure going. They have the Oilers on the run right now. The Oilers have already used their timeout. Can't slow the game down. The Hawks are feeling it after that goal from Andrew Shaw. But what a pass. What an unbelievable play by Brandon Saad.
Brookbank tried to center. It bounced loose. And Shaw had to get it to Bickle. It jumped away to Gagne. Then Petrie cleared it ahead. Hall had his head down. Good step-up play by Seabrook. And now the Oilers get out of their own end. Barons dumped it. Crawford, who, when his team was down 2-1, made a couple of really big saves to keep them within one, and now it's even. This is icing Edmonton.
You had the Hemsky chance, right, Pat? You had the Gagne little pass to the front of the net with a wide open net. And you mentioned Duncan Keith came back and saved that play.
So Keith made a big play, and then a couple of shifts before that, Rosenball kept the puck from crossing the line after it had gotten past or gotten beyond Crawford. All right, a board battle here. It squirts to Keith. To Seabrook, walks in. Couldn't settle the puck down in time. And now the Hawks, Hossa dropped it to Keith with a one-timer that's blocked. Hemsky could only get as far as center. 75 left in period 2. Taves gets the line. Sharp to Taves. Hossa to the front. Now it comes to Keith. Good save by Dubnyk. And boy, watching Devan Dubnyk play tonight, you'd be hard-pressed to understand that everybody that's watched the Oilers play has said their goaltending hadn't been very good.
Boy, he's been sensational in this game. Not really orthodox when you look at this save here. Kind of in between. It looked like he wanted to shuffle over and then get back to his feet, but he decided to stay down, and Duncan Keith tried to beat him right between the legs. But what a pass from Taves, and great chance there for Duncan Keith. There's one of those, Pat, where you get in that situation where you just want to have you almost got, as a shooter, you want to count 1/1000, 2/1000, and see where the goaltender is, and then be able to kind of pick your spot in that situation to get the goaltender in between, because it was such a bang-bang play. So patience with the puck.
Oduya joining the play. A turnaround by Eberle. Hjalmarsson kept it. Final minute of period 2. Great steal by Oduya for Kane. Now Patrick Kane into the corner. Saad wants Peary, but didn't connect. Saad put it in front. Kane forced in deep. Working against Schultz. Kane hangs on. Gets to the middle. Dropped it to Hjalmarsson. A long shot and a save by Dubnyk. Nearly coughed up a rebound. Kane was lurking, but Dubnyk gave him nothing.
Boy, the ice is absolutely tilted into the Edmonton Oilers defensive zone. Puck on the stick of Patrick Kane. Moving the puck all the way around. Hjalmarsson with the shot, and the guy that started the play, Lucas in front of the net, Pat, it's Patrick Kane. So not staying to the outside, getting to the inside, creating some good quality opportunities.
Seabrook fires a long blast. That was deflected wide. Hossa put it to Keith trying to center. It deflected just outside the near post. Bickle was battling in front. Now he works the corner. The clock winding down. 4 left. And Eddie, we talked about it a lot as the second period was halfway done. The Edmonton Oilers had a terrific opening 10 minutes, but they took a penalty 11 minutes in. The power play didn't score, but it created momentum. And that momentum continued for the entire last half of the period.
You need something to grab on when it isn't there. And I think more straight ahead hockey for the Hawks at the end of that second period, Pat, really allowed them to get back in this game.
Hawks outshoot the Oilers 13-10 in the second. It's 24-16 in the game for Chicago. The score tied at the end of 2. We'll head into the third period even with the Edmonton Oilers. Before that happens, we get to talk to assistant coach Mike Kitchen. You know, was the second period a perfect example how you don't have to always score on a power play to turn a game around? You got some momentum out of that power play after the first 10 minutes. I don't think we're going very well for you.
No, absolutely. I thought we were a little too cute with the puck, trying to make too many passes in the neutral zone and in the offensive zone, and weren't shooting the puck. And then with the power play, gave us some momentum, and then we started to put some bad angle shots, and we're getting some action off the shot there. So, you know, whether it's a rebound, going off a skate, we're getting puck possession and puck recovery after that.
Hey, Kitch, how good has Corey Crawford been for you and the confidence with the way that he's been playing, and you feed off that on the bench?
He's solid. I mean, even, last night's game, he was really solid, made some real key saves, halfway through the third period there. And again, tonight we're getting the same kind of performance. So, he certainly does give our team a lot of confidence.
Kids, you look at the Edmonton Oilers record, and it's obviously not very good, but for some reason they must have some confidence against the Blackhawks. Any explanation for that?
They always play us tough, whether it's at home here or in Edmonton. I mean, it just is. They really raise up to the challenge here, and they're playing the Stanley Cup champions, and this is something to help turn their season around, gives the team a lot of confidence if they can, win a hockey game against us.
All right, what did you try to stress to the team leading into the third here?
Well, basically, a lot of it was just to keep it simple. Let's funnel everything towards the net, make sure we have a good third man, and be responsible in our play and keep the puck in front of us and keep ourselves in play.
All right, appreciate a couple minutes. Good luck in the third.
Thanks, Kitch.
You could have been a coach. He just talked about everything that you were talking about. Oh, that's right, you were. All right, underway in the third period. It's 2-2, and this one's going to be icing Oilers.
The third period.
Pat, I think just
and the beautiful 2013 Sonata.
just kind of elaborating a little bit on what Mike Kitchen was talking about of the too cute. And it just, that's a team that has so much confidence, is to be able to make that extra play. And most offensive players in the National Hockey League always want to make that highlight reel type of play. But it's proven, and the video never lies. Less is more, and more straightforward offensively is going to create more opportunities. And the pretty plays are going to be there. They're going to be there. But when this team has success, it's more straight ahead hockey.
Hemsky dropped it in front. Hall, good back pressure. Hossa, great read by 81 in red again. I'll tell you, as good as this line has been, we've talked about how they've dominated the last week and a half. Taves, Hossa, and Sharp. How much of it is generated defensively? I mean, Sharp and Taves with his ability to read the play, just the way Hossa just did. They're so responsible on their own end, and defense leads offense so often in this sport.
Yeah, that's exactly it, partner. It starts there. You want the puck and play in the offensive zone. It's hard work to play defense. It's not easy.
It's not fun. It's not pretty. You don't get any highlight reels for that. Except in the coach's room.
Yeah, and if you want to score goals and do that, you got to play in that area of the ice.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at that play you picked up, partner. So beautifully, Marian Hossa coming all the way back, and again, leading with his stick on the ice, never too late to come back. You don't know what that does. It denies that opportunity, Pat, but it might deny another opportunity if he is in that area. So you get one shot, maybe you get a second or third chance opportunity. But once you make that play like that, the play's over. And players feed off of that. If I'm a young player sitting on that Blackhawk bench, or I'm watching down in Rockford, I'm watching that guy. I'm watching
Oh.
81, especially when it comes to playing without the puck and being so good in the defensive part of the game.
And now Kane scooped it deep. And Peary had it knocked away, but then it came to Saad. He threw it in behind, never got to Kane. Then he steals. Patrick Kane left it for Peary. He's grabbed by Schultz. Saad in behind. Roosevall's down low on the play. Dropped it back to Kane. Now Roosevall. Got back to Leddy. And then Saad takes over. And the Oilers haven't touched the puck for a while. Here's a long shot. That goes wide. Kane. His pass broken up but retrieved by Saad. From his knees he finds Roosevall who shoots. And he went up high but missed the net. Rebound taken by Leddy trying to center. Saad well covered by Smith. But the Oilers still can't get the puck. Kane's got it again. What a shift here for this line. Kane again. Dropped it back to Leddy. His wrister. Dubnyk the save. It's back to the corner and Saad arrives first to Kane. Now here's Roosevall. He had it deflect. And finally Edmonton clearing their end. Boy, the Hawks are exhausted too, but Leddy with some steam ahead to Peary. He missed the net. Trying to catch Edmonton and change back in front. Bickle trying to tuck it around. Dubnyk could not. And then a pass picked off. Ionescu cleared it out. Bouncing back to the other end. Captured by Andrew Shaw. Shaw gets into the zone. He had his shot blocked by Ferentz. Big battle along the boards. Jones came away for the Oilers. Jones lost it as he got to the line. That'll be an offside whistle.
Well, Hawk fans, take a look at the all-new Chevy Impala. The 2014 Chevy Impala is a real game changer. It's all about drive. See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer today and drive what I do, Kane and Taves drives. Boy, that was a heck of a shift there, partner. Oh. I think the Oilers went about 45, 50 seconds without touching the puck. And they actually did a pretty decent job, Pat, of keeping the Blackhawks to the outside. Really never gave up anything to the most dangerous area of the ice. The Hawks certainly were having their way, and a couple of great efforts there from Brandon Saad while on his knees. Not once, but twice of moving the puck.
Blowout in behind for Beloff. Hawks steal. Sharp. Patrick Sharp trying to muscle his way. Couldn't get away from Larson. He goes back to Seabrook and jumped loose out of the zone. The offside Chicago.
Hey, Pat, got a quick shout out to one of our great friends, former head medical trainer for the Chicago Cubs for many years, and even filled in back in the day with the Blackhawks,
Yeah.
Tony Garofalo.
Sure.
Tony and his wife Jan celebrating 41 years of marriage, so congratulations to Tony and Jan, big Blackhawk fans, and we wish them nothing but the best.
Now it's picked up by Oduya. Chalmerson dumped it. Beasley took a whack and then taken by Everly. Back goes Chalmerson. And Oduya bounced it to center. Kruger chipped it in there. Ferentz going to turn it over. Ben Smith to Kruger, but his pass missed a couple of mates. Now Keith will circle back. Oilers jamming up the neutral zone. Finally, it gets into their end, and Dubnyk had thoughts of playing it, but a hustling Brandon Peary will force a whistle. Give a birthday shout out to a great Blackhawks fan, Brian Doffenbach, celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and I get word of that from a real good man and a huge Hawks fan, John Weaver, who's the guy, one of the guys right out in front at Hawk Ford when you walk in there. And John Weaver is such a big Blackhawks fan. He got a tattoo, a Blackhawk tattoo on his shoulder last spring. He did that when the Hawks were down 3-1 to Detroit. Here's an open net, and the Hawks have taken the lead. Brian Bickle makes it 3-2 and a rebound.
Face-off win. Andrew Shaw. You win a face-off, you dictate what happens. The shot from Roosevelt. There's that play again, Pat, from Devan Dubnyk. He thinks he has this puck. Remember the play earlier in the second period where Patrick Kane came in and was looking for the Jonathan Toews shot? It was laying there. Dubnyk thought he had it. That one there, he thought he had it. Brian Bickle, you want to score? Go to the front of the net. And the Hawks with a huge goal. Don't know if Shaw's going to get an assist, but he won the face-off to start that whole sequence.
Toews gains the line for Sharp. A one-timer. The puck was rolling, and it's way up off the netting.
That's a huge goal for the Hawks and a huge goal for Brian Bickle. But again, going to the front of the net, stopping in front of the net. You'd be amazed at how many opportunities you will get if you go to the net and stop in an offensive situation. If you skate by the net and do a flyby, you're never going to get that opportunity. So give yourself a chance. Just like the Toews goal last night, Pat, where he stopped right in front of the net and the puck was there and he was able to put it in. A little help from Eric Cole. But when you go to the net, good things are going to happen. There's that face-off win. Good help from Patrick Kane. The assist for Kane and Roosevelt. But look at the net front presence. You got two Blackhawks there.
Challenged by Kruger on the boards. Oduya finds it deep. Ference surrounded. He lost it. Here's Kruger, put it out in front. A shot by Bowling is blocked and cleared out of there. Now Eberle, a bouncing puck. Crawford was careful of that. Brookbank made sure to get it out. Beloff. His bank pass read by Shaw. He took it away. Andrew Shaw drives and shoots. That went wide. And the Oilers' Larson cleared it up the boards. It winds up at center. Ryan Bickle put it to Roosevelt. And now Larson for Edmonton. Bounced it deep. Crawford wants to make a direct pass himself. Bickle in a little traffic. Now it's picked up by Roosevelt. Brookbank checked. Unable to get it out. Bounce loose in front. Yakupov for the backhander. Save by Crawford. Nail Yakupov had a close-in opportunity and a penalty coming up Chicago. So the Oilers, having just been denied on a good scoring chance, will head to the power play when we come back.
Well, Blackhawk fans, Buddig Lunch Meats wants to see your family fan photos. Upload them through your Twitter account and tag them with the hashtag HawksFanPhoto. And your family photo might be shown on the air.
Which family was that?
I think I saw a skit on that on SNL one time.
Letty gets a penalty. Here's the Oiler power play. They're 1-on-1. A long shot hits some traffic in front. Hall gets help from Perron. Now Larson looks to Eberle. Larson to Nugent Hopkins. He takes a look and shoots. And a good save by Crawford. Rebound back to Larson, a wrister. Crawford stopped that, then it went in. David Perron in front of that might have gotten a piece. He certainly gave problems to Crawford, and the Oilers with another power play goal tie it up.
Well, the Hawks turn the puck over, and then a quick shot by Larson looking for Taylor Hall. The redirect, and then the stick of David Perron, 57 in white. There's the redirect. There's Perron. And the puck comes up in the back of the net. But what a play there by Larson, Pat, to see Taylor Hall.
So the Oiler power play 2 out of 2 tonight. After the Hawks had put together a decent run of PK. And last night was great. They killed off 6 straight in Dallas, but different story here this evening. Well, it was a Edmonton penalty that turned everything around in the second period after the Hawks had been outplayed in the first 10 minutes. They got a power play, didn't score on it, but the entire momentum of the period changed. Now it's an Oiler bit of momentum after a conversion. Here comes Ryan Smith with a blast. Crawford with the mitt. Able to snare.
Smith had to get rid of that puck quick because Brent Seabrook goes right on his heels. They were both standing flat-footed at the blue line. That's semi 2-on-1.
He's long pass missed, and that's going to be ruled icing.
Special hello to Vicky and Glenn Kehoe out in Lockport, Illinois. You see Jonathan Taves talking to the linesman there about the, would assume, Pat, the icing call there.
That was another one. It certainly looked as if Hossa might have been able to get there first, but that's the second for sure, and maybe you could argue the third that has been more than a little questionable with this hybrid icing.
Oh, punch to the back of the head by Ference on Sharp.
And the Oilers able to clear it to center. Hall into the zone. A centering pass. Yakupov bounced up into the air. It comes down to Rosabal getting it out. Arcobello dumped it in. Kane cleared his own zone, but a penalty coming up. Was Kane roughed up? Let's see what the call is going to be here from referee Brian Pochmara. So Jesse Joensuu sent off for the Oilers. And now the Hawks looking to answer the Edmonton power play conversion. The draw, clearing attempt, whipped. Here's Keith, and he fired it up high. Comes back to the board. The Oilers able to get this one out. Taken by Sharp. Patrick Sharp cleared it in for Jonathan Taves. Smith with a good takeaway. Now the race is on. Arcobello might get to it. Sharp getting back. And able to strip it away.
Every goal on power play is more than this season. November 7th. David Perron. This is number 36.
All right, now here comes Letty moving in. Brings it around. Kane for Shaw. Put it back to Letty. Nick Letty across to Duncan Keith. Patrick Kane's got it now. Letty to Keith. Wasn't in the wheelhouse. Now Kane tries. He missed the net. Along with Keith. That's blocked. And the Oilers able to clear.
Good block there from Boyd Gordon, the former Phoenix Coyote.
And a real solid addition to this Edmonton team.
Actually was leading their team in goals at the start of the year.
Yeah. All right, now the Hawks down to 40 for the power play. Cabello chipped it out of there. And Seabrook leads the Hawks up the ice. And a chip and chase. Seabrook in on Fadoon. It's in behind for Saad. Then it jumped away from Peary out of the zone. Good recovery by Peary against the dangerous Hall. Gagne carried on. And Gagne banked it off the side of the net. Peary takes it back, but the Oiler power play now over. And both teams in full strength. Saad going to buy a little time as everybody was changing on him. And the Oilers able to get it back. Beloff cleared it ahead. Hall put it in. Kruger. Hjalmarsson. And Oduya chasing in. Taken by Smith. He's center. Here's the stuff. He score! What a play by Ben Smith and tremendous patience by Marcus Kruger. Able to fully use every inch of his reach to get around the 6'6" goalie and tuck it home. 4-3.
Well, there's a great keep in there from Johnny Oduya. And then Ben Smith has the presence of mind to just fire this puck to the front of the net, Pat. And as you mentioned, Marcus Kruger, all in one motion, just kind of spins around and finds his way around and just whips it past the leg. The right leg of Devan Dubnyk. I mentioned Johnny Oduya in the first period, Pat. I think he's had a real strong game. I don't know if he's going to get an assist on that play, but he made the play. And that's a huge goal from number 16.
Just the second of the year, but it comes at a very opportune time for his side. And the Hawks are back in front in this seesaw battle. All right, now here comes Bolig looking for Kruger. He was checked. Back come the Oilers. But Schultz ran out of room at the line. Hossa threw it the other way. Here's Taves around to this side. Keith of the wrist shot and a near rebound given up again by Dubnyk, but he's able to locate and cover. Oduya indeed rightly does pick up an assist, as does Smith on the lead goal from Kruger. It's 4-3.
Take another look from our AT&T U-Burst replay. Marcus Kruger stop in front of the net. And all in one motion, Pat, as you mentioned. It's almost like tabletop hockey there with Marcus Kruger. Just stands there, gets it, and there he is, just wraps it right in behind Devan Dubnyk.
That's better reach than any of those tabletop players ever had.
You got that right.
You're kind of stuck on that pin, turning in circles.
That guy's always got dizzy.
Yep, me too. Here's Taves looking to move in. Knocked away. Hemsky on the counterattack. Pass it to himself to the corner, but Seabrook got there too. And Keith moved it to Taves. Looking to Sharp, who got checked hard at the line by Nick Schultz. And a penalty coming up. So Nick Schultz, who got a big piece of Patrick Sharp, who now comes into his neighborhood to give him a little jawing, but Schultz will be sent to the box.
Well, Schultz trying to step up and take a piece of Patrick Sharp. He does. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
I'm assuming it's interference.
Yes, that's the call. That's the call, interference.
I was going to say, to me, Looked like, if anything, he got a hand or an elbow up in the face of Patrick Sharp, but that was one of those bang-bang plays where the puck was in the area, Pat, and then he stepped up and made the hit on there. I think the Hawks got you a break on that play.
Now in behind Sharp. Rolled it out to Seabrook. Finds Keith. Seabrook will look to Sharp. There's the pass. He goes back door to Keith, who unloads. Big save by Dubnyk. Rebound to Sharp. Now Keith. A long wrister. He scores! Duncan Keith somehow surprised Devan Dubnyk from 45 feet away. A wrister by the gloved hand. It's 5-3.
Duncan Keith had an A-plus chance, Pat, right before this. And Dubnyk made a great pad save. Dunk can't shoot it any harder. And on this one here, he's waiting, and he wrists the puck. And it beats Devan Dubnyk to the far side. But great puck movement. Outstanding puck movement by the Hawks. I don't know if that puck changes directions or not, but you see Marian Hossa pointing to Duncan Keith. The quick little wrister. And the Hawks with a huge man advantage goal.
Well, the Oilers, who have scored twice for their power play tonight, that's the first Hawks conversion and their fourth opportunity with a man advantage. And a big goal to give him a little breathing room.
Look at the reaction of Duncan Keith. He just kind of thrown his palms up like, I just tried to get it to the net, and hey, it happens to get in there. They don't ask how, Dunk. You know that, just how many.
Here's a chance for Perron, but Hjalmarsson able to get across to deny him. Bolig goes back to the other end. Beverly rolled it loose. Here come the Oilers. A give and go pass didn't connect. And now back comes Bolig. He's checked by Beloff on the boards.
Give an assist to Kruger on that goal. I don't even think Kruger was on the ice, Pat.
I
think it was Sharp. This was Sharp, Hossa.
Well, Seabrook might have been the guy.
Yeah,
Seabrook is at the other point.
Right,
oh,
yeah,
Sharp,
sure.
yeah, right. Sharp put it across. So, all right, here comes Shaw going wide. A backhand shot stopped Dubnyk. He gave another rebound, but the puck came back to him. He's able to hang on to it. Down to 5 minutes remaining in the third. 5-3 Chicago. Welcome back to the UC, where the Blackhawks look to extend an undefeated streak to 7 in a row. They had the lead at the end of one period, the home team did. They fell behind in the second period. They took the lead in the third. The Oilers caught them. And now it's 5-3 Chicago. Shaw out of the corner, drives in, centered, Kane shooting. And a shoulder save made by Dubnyk. Now Kane again, threw it in front. Just off the skate of Bickle. Back come the Oilers. And that's an offside play as Joensuu got in. Blackhawk goal tonight from Saad, Shaw, Bickle, Kruger, and Keith. Duncan Keith continuing to show us what did he talk to us about last night, in case you might have missed it, but we had a little interview with Duncan Keith where, I mean, in your mind, this guy is back to a Norris Trophy level of playing.
No question. Just everything about his game. There's so much confidence right now, and points are what they are. And that certainly helps. But if you watch a complete package like we do, Pat, every night, you would see exactly the importance of just shutting down play after play in the middle of the ice. Look out, look out.
Oh boy, the David Perron dumping attempt just dropped somebody right in the head. Is that Keith? Seabrook was next to him. And Mike Gatzke quickly to the scene. I'm going to. No, Keith's at the other end.
Is that Oduya? No, Oduya's on the ice. Michael Roosevelt.
Michael Roosevelt, and look at, wow. Now that's Dr. Michael Terry, who's jumped in there quickly. Hot puck, and there's no way Roosevelt could have seen it. I mean, the puck was a couple of feet from the boards. Perron tried to dump it in. It came right over the very top of the boards, and there's no way he could have picked that up before it hit him. And it hit him obviously right in the face. Roosevelt, who does not wear a shield, oh boy, has been opened up by a stray puck.
Now there's David Perron just trying to chip the puck in there, and then you see right there, catches Michael Roosevelt and goes straight back, skates up. And the attention was swift by the Blackhawk training staff. Troy Parchman, the equipment manager, standing right in behind where the defensemen are in the first and third period. And then Mike Gatzke right away. You saw Clint Reif jumping on, and then you mentioned Dr. Terry jumping on there to help to the aid of Michael Roosevelt, and hopefully he's going to be okay.
Now Sharp with a shot that went wide to Keith. Taves to Sharp. Back to Seabrook. Now Taves again. Wants Hossa right up the middle to the goal. He shoots and a save by Dubnyk. The Oilers' Hemsky looks to break back. Up with Hall. There's the pass for Taylor Hall. What a stick by Keith. Duncan Keith avoided a penalty, somehow preventing a wonderful scoring chance from a great sniper. And then Seabrook able to clear it. Eberle back in. Puck was rolling on him. And Bowling able to get it out of there. Petrie settles things down for the visitors. Able to dump it in. Bowling. And then it's cleared ahead. And just shooting it from one end to the other here the last little sequence. Now the Oilers try to chip and chase. He was knocked down with a high stick, they say, by Yakupov. And now Oduya gave him a little business, and Yakupov answered quickly, and a confrontation in behind. Nail Yakupov, who scored earlier tonight, didn't have a point in his last 5 games and was a -8 over those 5. A goal tonight, and a little upset with the Hawks D-man.
Well, the whistle blows right here. Oh, yeah, the cross-check by Johnny Oduya. That's what Yakupov was not happy about. The whistle had blown, Pat, because there was going to be a high stick there. And the retaliatory penalty by Nail Yakupov. And speaking from experience, more times than not, the referee is going to catch the retaliatory player than the initiator.
So Oduya and the Hawks get away with one there, and the Oilers, as a result, will be short-handed.
Same unit that had the last goal.
And a backhander from Sharp is stopped. He tries again and went wide. Taves to Hossa. Now again Taves. Smith able to steal. We're down to 2.5 remaining in the third. Donovan Taves out of the reach of Sharp. Taves gets it back. Seabrook a good keep. Moves in. We'll ring it around. Sharp dropped it to Keith. Seabrook looks to Sharp. Taves at the front of the net. Oh, and a dangerous pass. It was a good read and a steal here by Arcabello. Tried to move in and shot one off the side of the net. A minute of power play time remaining. And the Oilers PK is outworking the Hawks power play right here. Here's a long blast that's blocked by Keith. Hall put it across. Here's a long shot. They score. A short-handed goal and a well-deserved goal. The shot initiated by Nick Schultz. It might have been tipped in. And Edmonton with a shorty has drawn to within one.
Well, 2 giveaways on that shift for the Hawks. Duncan Keith made a great block, Pat, as you mentioned, and Taylor Hall gets the puck back to the point, and the shot pass, no chance for Corey Crawford as that puck ended up being redirected over the glove side. You had Hall and Eberle on the ice. So now it's a 1-goal game, and the Hawks are still on the power play for the next 44 seconds.
Well, not surprisingly, a new unit on to finish this man advantage for Coach Quenneville. Hawks dump it in. Oilers dump it out.
Hjalmarsson and Oduya, 2 guys who do not see a lot of power play time, if at all. Joe Quenneville making sure you got 2 defensive guys on the back end.
This one is dumped in. A minute remains in regulation time. Now Oduya to Hjalmarsson. In behind Shaw. Pushed it towards the boards, and Eberle able to bounce it out of there. Hall stripped of it by Saad to Shaw, gaining the line. Saad to the net. Oh, and Shaw ran out of time. Good back pressure there. The Oilers penalty over. Both teams at full strength. We get down to half a minute remaining. Here's a shot and a save by Dubnyk to Oduya. He unloads. That hits some traffic in front. Oduya tries again into the glove of Dubnyk. And again, Shaw drawing some attention because he's always around the blue paint.
Brandon Saad made a great play in the middle of the ice there. Pat Taylor Hall was off to the races. Looked like it might be a 2-on-1, but the back pressure, the back checking of Brandon Saad lifts up the stick. Quick little maneuver by Saad. He's had another strong game here tonight. A couple of points for Saad. First goal of the game and an assist as well.
All right, now the Oilers need to win a draw that clocked their enemy. They'll try to get Dubnyk off if they can get possession and get it down to the other end. But the Hawks win the draw. Good win by Kruger. Trying to keep it in the offensive zone. Hawks with a 4th line out, trying to protect a 1-goal lead. And a great job here by Bollig, eating time in the corner. Kruger's in there as well. The clock is winding down. The Oilers can't pry it loose. What a job by Kruger and Bollig and Smith, and the Hawks win it. The Blackhawks have scored 5 goals or more for the 5th time in the last 7 games, and tonight they needed every one of them.
They scored them a lot of different ways too, Pat. A lot of different ways, and that's what you need. A team that's playing with a lot of confidence. Again, they went through that stretch in the second period, Pat, where it was too fancy, too cute. They got back to straight-ahead hockey, workmanlike, and they're rewarded with a huge 3rd period.
Well, the Hawks have now taken 13 of the last 14 possible points. It wasn't easy, but they're able to knock off the Edmonton Oilers this evening. And Marcus Kruger, kind of fitting that his line would finish it off with some play in the offensive zone, letting the clock wind down, because that line had a very strong game, and